special. Watch me hit them with that 2-piece. Hit them with that biscuit after honey, cause they too sweet. And she gon' eat it up like she is a bee. Stuck to the pole like it's cold and she me.
Before we get into this reaction, I know this is random, but I just want to say that thank you guys for watching my videos and my reactions and anything, pretty much anything that I post. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing my videos. It means a lot more than what you think. And I know that without y'all, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I also want to say that I love you guys, you know, and I will always love you guys. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. See, now I can see you, right? You're getting emotional because I'm getting emotional, okay? Stop it. Jesus, I am a sensitive ass motherfucker. But yeah, in all seriousness though, like, just thank you guys for watching. You know, some of y'all watch every single day. Some of y'all watch, you know, a couple of times a week. But just thank you in general. Like, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Just thank you for watching my videos and reactions and anything that I post. And I love you guys. That's it. Let's get it though. Sup? That was so dramatic.
Fleeing police.
What?
Traveling through
Damn.
a tunnel on a train is frightening enough. The darkness, the enclosed space.
Jesus.
Not knowing what's going on around you. But Redditor Murderous Butchie offers one more reason to fear the tunnel. He was traveling in Queens, New York, when the train entered a tunnel. That's when it came to an abrupt halt. The air and lights vanished. People began wondering what was going on, and soon found out that a man who had tried to flee the police through the tunnel had collided with the train.
Damn.
The power had been turned off so that the police could go retrieve him. The Redditor explains, "We could hear him screaming in the tunnel. The guy survived." Many in the thread wonder who this suspect was and what he was fleeing from. There's more to this story.
Really? Out of all the places, spaces, places, I don't even know what places are or is. I just say that because it rhymed. It's probably not even a word. Out of all the areas that you could go to flee, you choose like a tunnel, train tracks, in the darkness. Literally millions of other places, other areas you can be, and you chose that. You're a dumbass. I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't know why you chose that shit.
And we all want to know what it is. Number 14, the mouth breather.
What?
Creepy people on public transit is pretty much inescapable. If you ride the subway enough, it will eventually happen to you in one way or another.
Yeah, alright.
Redditor Frosted_ wrote about what he describes as a clearly insane guy who entered the train when Frosted was around 16 years old. The crazy decided to stand in front of an 18-year-old woman and just breathe heavily over her.
Oh my God.
Frosted explains, "We were the only ones on the train before he got on, and we both looked at each other, and I nodded my head and raised my hand, a slight gesture that if he did something, I'd intervene." Frosted said the creep kept staring at her, even after he sat down and stopped hovering.
Son, can you imagine just being in a closed space or in a small space? You can't really get out of that area at that moment. Something just flew past. What the hell was that? There's something in here. But that shit is so creepy. And anybody, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. If you on somebody's back, on somebody's neck, talking about something, and you within inches from somebody else's neck back. You talking about some... Yo, that's like, I'm beating the shit out of you. Because I can't really go nowhere. I can't really run nowhere. You feel me? So, I'm beating the shit out of you. And I might cluck up your breathing shits right here. I might cluck all of that up. That sounds like murder. I'm sorry. But I mean, I felt I was, I felt like I was in danger. Somebody breathing hard as hell on the back of my neck, and I don't know that person. Just saying, my life is in danger. His hot ass breath burning the shit out of my neck. It's like, come on, he hurting the shit out of me.
It was obviously uncomfortable. Who wouldn't be? Leaving her seat to be closer to the only other person on the train, the Redditor. The pair started talking, and Frosted said he would have tried to help if anything had happened with the man. Suddenly, the man in question jumped up. Frosted prepared his 140-pound self to defend against a 200-pound man. But luckily, he was clever enough to steer him off the train with only his words. Many in the comments of this post describe similar experiences with unwanted attention on public transit. And it also seems that t-shirts with marker writing is the common clothing of these individuals. So I guess the takeaway from this is, steer clear of homemade t-shirts. Although I think we already knew that. Number 13. The Clown. Redditor Complicated shares this story of a subway trip in Seoul, South Korea. He was in a subway with a clown when the train completely stopped in a tunnel. Korean came over the...
Bitch. I know. God damn. I know you're in a subway. Right? And I know once you enter the shit, the doors close and you can't really get out. Hey, bitch. First of all, I wouldn't even be in the same area, in the same space, and let alone the same, the same shit as a clown, because I would have had my Adidas on. I would have had my Adidas 10,000s on, and they would have told me telepathically, hey, mother clucker, don't get on this shit, not right now. Wait until the next shit, because there's a clown on the first shit, so get on the second shit. But if by off chance, some odd reason, if I was on the same, God forbid, if I was on the same mother shit, right, as a clown, I would have broke out the subway. Like, nah. Either I would have found one way or another out the subway. Because best believe I'm breaking windows. I'm breaking something to get out that shit. Or I'm beating the living shit out of that clown. I don't care. You can be like the nicest person in the world. You can be like the goodest person, whatever, right? But if you're in a clown costume, two things are gonna happen. Three things. Either one, I'm beating the shit out of you, right? Two, I'm hauling ass. I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to haul ass the other way. Or three, I'm beating the shit out of you and hauling ass.
Speaker explaining that someone had thrown themselves in front of the train. A Complicated writes, the clown looked at me. I looked at the clown. He decided at that point that it was his job to entertain our car.
Look at that.
And I was his unwilling stooge. Imagine being notified of such a horrific event and then having to endure a clown's attempt at entertainment as you wait for the body to be cleared from the tracks. Truly a bizarre event to say the least. Number 12.
Yo, hey, let's run it back for a second though. Hold on.
Imagine being notified of such a horrific event and then having to endure a clown's attempt at entertainment as you wait for the body to be cleared from...
Look at that. Look at... Alright, so... This mother... I did not even notice this motherfucker recording him. She gonna be the first one he clucks up. Jesus. But... I don't know. I think these are pockets. I think he has mad pockets. Something tells me that there's some dangerous ass shit in those pockets. Motherfuckers be like, he can have like fucking bombs on bombs in his pockets. Or he can have fucking guns or some knives. Just take them out. Nah, nope. You got all of that. You go ahead and keep all of that shit. I feel like the next stop, like when a subway stops, everybody except the clown is gonna be dead or clucked up, and he just gonna walk off. He gonna walk out the subway talking about something.
Tracks. Truly a bizarre event to say the least. Number 12. The almost flood.
What?
When heavy rainfall increases the likelihood of flash floods, it's best to stay at home and not risk jumping on public transit. Redditor, there's a fap for that.
Damn.
Knows that firsthand. As he attempted to take a PATH train from New York City to New Jersey in the late 90s during a huge storm, he writes, all of a sudden, about halfway under the Hudson, the path stops and everyone could see water in the tunnel outside rising.
Damn!
I was never so scared in my life. If you've ever been in a similar situation, you'll probably know the crazy imagery and ideas that pop into your head, worst case scenarios and potential survival strategies. The train eventually started moving again, albeit very slowly, but the Redditor says that's legit the most scared he's ever been. I'd say that's quite understandable. Number 11. The Rock Thrower. Redditor, the decisive Jedi, wrote about a scary encounter while traveling on a train in Mumbai, India. In India, the train doors are often open with people hanging out.
You got... Nah. God. Hell nah. You good. You good. You can... oh my God. Nope. If that's really what they do in India... It's like they don't care about their lives at all. Like, you got motherfuckers hanging on the side of a fucking train. Jesus. And why are they on the outside of the train? I feel like it would be a lot more safer inside the train, unless inside the train is packed like a mother clucker. And the only reason they're on the outside of the train is because there's so many people inside the train. Unless that's just how they ride trains. But if that's how they ride trains, yeah, no. That's dead. That's super dead. I'm not doing that. Nope. Nope, nah. You got, no, nah. Nope. You wouldn't even catch me running, like doing that dumbass shit that he just did. Like running on the side of the shit, and then, like, he was on the train, and then a couple of inches, he was off the train, right? Running, and then hopping back on. See, if I did that, right, most likely I wouldn't have my Adidas on, because my Adidas would not be going for no bullshit like this. If I did that, I'm hanging on the train, I get off, running alongside the train, something happens. Obviously something happens because it's me, right? I trip over my feet, or my shoelace is untied, or fucking something is on the shit. It caused me to slip. It caused me to... Nah.
Grasping onto the handles and bars. He says people do this both for the thrill and because the trains are overcrowded.
Oh, okay.
As the Redditor's train traveled through a slum, a random kid threw a stone at the moving train, which knocked a random commuter who stood right in front of the Redditor. The man didn't fall out of the train, thankfully, but when he fell in, Other commuters could see the cut gleaming all over his face, as the horror seems to have stuck with the Redditor for a while.
What the hell is he doing?
Writes, I kept on dreaming about the same incident over and over again, about a scenario of him falling out of the train, and woke up out of the bed for nearly a week after the incident. Can't blame him. That image is enough to give the bravest of us nightmares. Number 10. Our own mortality.
What?
While many of these entries occurred in the U.S., scary public transit stories are definitely not relegated to America. Redditor Andromeda 321 moved to the Netherlands, where she had to rely on public transit to get around. Often, if someone jumps in front of the train, the rail line is shut down for hours so that police can investigate the scene and make sure no foul play went down. Well, according to the Redditor, she heard one person a week ends their life this way in the Netherlands. The worst experience she had was on a return home from the North Country. She and her colleagues were almost to the station and were standing between carriages because there were no free seats. That's when the train came to a halt. She explains, the body was right under where we were. I didn't look out, but I guess you could see the man's dentures on the other side.
Wow.
The 6-year-old started crying because she realized for the first time her own mortality. I can only imagine the mental toll an event like this would have on a person. Number 9. The rope. At times, it's not so much the public transport itself that you should be afraid of. It's the people waiting with you at the stop. Redditor Bees Are Eating My Brain wrote of one scary London night when she was at a bus stop alone at 11 p.m. A man with a backpack and wearing a hoodie approached to wait at the other side of the stop, looking over at her in a creepy manner. She describes what happened next. He took off his backpack and pulled a pair of gloves and a rope from it, put the gloves and backpack on, and then began wrapping the rope around his left hand. She didn't wait around to see what was up with that rope, because just as she stepped onto the road, getting ready to race across the street, her bus appeared. She raced onto it, but that's not where her nightmare ends. She writes, while the bus was pulling away, I looked out the window at the scary man, and he was staring at me intensely, with the rope wrapped around his left hand, and his right holding it taut. If that's not an image that sticks in your mind, I don't know what is. Number 8.
That would be enough for me to stop taking public transportation, or at least like the bus, because I've had some experiences, which I'm gonna say after the video is over, but I've had my fair share of experiences with public transportation. Some good, some bad, some scary, some happy, some whatever, some whatever. So just it is what it is. Just saying. But yeah, that right there will be enough for me to stop taking a fucking bus. Yup, god damn.
Ultra creeper. When someone's creeping on you and you have nowhere to go, you only have 2 options. Ignore it or stand your ground. Redditor 90-pound glutton stood her ground. She wrote that when she boarded a bus that was largely empty, after choosing her seat, she noticed someone move from another seat to the one right behind her.
That's the most weirdest shit. Most sussest shit. That's like, fellas know what I'm talking about when I say this. That's like you going into a public bathroom and what do you call those things? Urinals that you stand up and pee in. And there's about let's say about 10 urinals, right? All lined up against the wall. And I thought that was a bug. And you are the only person in that bathroom, right? All the space in the world, right? You choose one urinal, go pee in. Mind you, you are the only person in that bathroom. And then somebody else, one other person comes in, right? And there's 10 urinals? One other person comes in and uses the urinal right next to you. that's when you just say cluck it, and you may or may not be finished peeing, but regardless of the fact, when somebody does that, you put your shit back in your shit. I don't care if you're finished peeing or not. You know, put it back in your shit. Right, zip it up, button, and then haul ass. Don't wash your hands either. I don't care. I don't care if people think you dirty. Nah, just don't touch nobody or touch anything else, right? But yeah, you put your shit back in your shit, zip, button, and just haul ass outside. Because that person is weird, sus, and is up to no good. There's literally 9 other urinals that you can use, and you choose the one right next to me. You're sus ass.
Though she thought that was strange, she tried not to think about it. But soon she had to think about it. The bus moved forward, and after a few minutes passed, she felt someone touch her side. It was the man who had changed places to be close to her. He was reaching around her seat to touch her. When she turned around to glare, he apologized and sat back, but soon he was at it again. This time she turned around and addressed him verbally, telling him to keep his hands to himself. Then she changed seats, but once the bus stopped and more passengers climbed on board, she noticed someone sit next to her, and after a moment she felt a hand on her knee. It was him again. She shouted at him, and he responded by claiming it was an accident, but this time she wasn't.
An accident? My ass. My ass accident. He's a guy. Hit him in the clucking balls. Or the throat. Hard as hell. I don't care if you have. I don't care what's going on with you. That shit is a no-no. Nah. Cause best believe, if I was in your situation and somebody was acting real sus and then sat next to me and touched me, oh, best believe I'm going straight for your ankles and your kneecaps. If you're a guy that touched me, I'm going for your ankles, kneecaps, and your balls. Right? Pause. If you're a female, I'm going straight. I don't care. I feel, what is it? Sexually assaulted or harassed. There we go. I feel endangered. Right? I am an endangered species. I don't know if that makes sense, but it kind of seems like, I don't know. I think I tend to just say shit without even thinking about it. But if you're a female that touched me like that, inappropriately, whatever, I'm going for your ankles and your kneecaps and your boobs. I'm punching the shit out of your boobs. Apparently, female, like boobies, apparently those are, like, sensitive. You know, like, there's been times when I've been at work and I wouldn't do it on purpose. Like, it would be by accident. Like, I would accidentally elbow or hit my coworker's, like, boob. And she would, like, ouch. I'd be like, I barely hit you. So, females, your breast, your boobies, are they sensitive? Like, are they sensitive? Are they as sensitive as a guy's, like, balls? I don't think so. Because a guy's balls is very sensitive. I really don't know why I keep talking. I'm gonna get off this subject.
A woman who'd seen the whole incident had her back. The woman started shouting at the creep, who shouted back. Then the bus driver finally got involved and said the guy would be kicked off at the next stop. This didn't deter the shouting.
The next stop? Bitch, stop this clucking bus and throw his ass out. I was about to say out shit. Throw his ass out the bus. Like, I don't care. Just stop this bus dead in its tracks and throw this mother clucker out and haul ass. Don't wait until the next bus stop. Because if you do that, you're playing games. I don't appreciate nobody playing games in a situation like this.
And the woman who said she'd be getting off at the next stop to settle this once and for all.
Yeah.
And she did get off after 90-pound glutton calls the woman a public transportation warrior. Pretty sure we all agree on that one. Number 7, darkness. Sometimes laughter is the best medicine. Other times it could lead to the loss of your life. An anonymous Redditor claims he almost passed away on public transit in Brooklyn because his bus driver was laughing so hard he lost control. He goes on to say that he was on a bus.
Damn!
When this familiar-looking man got on and sat nearby, after a moment he realized the man looked familiar for a reason. He was Charlie Murphy from The Chappelle Show. Although the Redditor was a big fan, Murphy had his kid along so he didn't bother him. But other people weren't so interested in a famous person's privacy. After a time of absolute silence on the bus, someone shouted out "darkness," a famous saying from a skit on the show. The Redditor writes, "Everyone loses it, including the bus driver, and we went from laughing to terrified in 1 second. Luckily, no one got hurt, and even Charlie Murphy found the situation funny." Well, who wouldn't? Rest in peace to a legendary comedian. Number 6, Twilight Zone. This one's straight out of the Twilight Zone. Redditor Daryl YK shares his story about an 11-hour bus trip to Iowa City. The Redditor spent the whole trip in the rear of the bus, mostly sleeping. On one occasion, he awoke to find nobody there. The Redditor writes, "No driver, no passengers, no leftover luggage except mine. Bus was parked in a gas station parking lot. Gas station was closed and obviously been closed for years. Although a car eventually appeared some 15 minutes later with the replacement bus driver, who said he'd overslept. Those must have been the scariest 15 minutes of his life." Number 5, Don't Leave Me. It's often the case that some folks on public transit aren't right in the head.
Yeah.
Redditor Steer experienced just such a case on her way home after school in New York City. She boarded the public bus and sat beside the window while an old man sat alongside her. Although she had her earbuds in, he seemed to be looking at and speaking with her, but she ignored it. When she removed her earbuds,
I don't know if this is like this scene, like with the old guy and the girl. Wait. Oh, it says old man bus beauty. Oh, okay, so it must be like a skit or something. I don't really know. A commercial. I don't really know. But god damn, he looks so sus. Like Jesus. Like, don't you know when you see somebody and you be like, you don't mean to be like judgmental, but like when you see somebody, you be like, oh, you look weird. You're weird. I bet you're weird. You're weird ass. You're weird. Oh shit, nope, you're sus. Oh damn, you got a scary ass face. I'm not even gonna lie. Jesus. Oh shit, You're ugly. Yo, y'all remember that episode in SpongeBob when SpongeBob and Patrick thought they got like the bad case of the ugly or whatever, but it was really like their breath. Jesus. I think that can make a person ugly too. Some badass hot ass breath. Oh yeah. Let me meet somebody. Let me meet a female. Bad as hell, right? Cute as hell, right? And when she finally talked to me and we're close, right? And she talked to me and she's talking in my direction. She's like, we're face to face and we're talking. And her breath is hot and nasty. That is a turn off. Wow, that's nah. That's gonna do it for me. It's a lot. It's not that many things that can turn me off. But I gotta say, like, hey, shit. Just saying. That's one way to, yeah.
She discovered he was talking about his wife. She writes, I was getting a little creeped out and I decided I would get off a few stops ahead and just walk home. When I told him I had to get up, he said, no, stay with me, don't leave.
Yeah, alright.
As she continued to insist that this was her stop, he continued to insist that she not leave, saying, I want you to come with me. Thankfully, some other young woman noticed and stepped in. When the man refused to move, the girls started shouting at him, and although the old man finally caved, he still insisted that this Redditor was his daughter. I've had lots of weird people experiences on New York trains and buses, but this one was the creepiest, she writes. Not a surprise, seems pretty terrifying. Let's hope this man got the help he needed. Number 4. Maggots.
What?
Creepy things are not welcome anywhere, but especially not on public transit. Redditor Nigel with the Bree shares his experience with some unwelcome critters on another New York subway.
Oh my god.
People often eat on the subway, which Nigel doesn't understand because public transit is often so disgusting. But when has that ever stopped anyone from doing something? Someone had dropped some crumbs on the ground and Nigel writes, I looked down and there are literally maggots writhing around next to me. If that's not enough to make you shudder, Nigel adds that some NYC subway lines are known to be bed bug.
Son, y'all, like, I can't. Looking at that shit, like, stuff like that, it makes my skin itch. Like, it makes my skin crawl because I can't. Because I'm starting to picture that shit now. Like, I'm starting to picture maggots in my fucking bed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my shit. I'm the type of person that, like, if I see that shit, like bugs or whatever, or if we're talking about bugs or stuff like that, I start to, like, my imagination goes crazy. Like what if one night, I go to sleep and, like, underneath my pillow, right here, underneath my pillow, mad fucking cockroaches. Or, like, underneath my sheets, fucking spiders, or maggots, or worms. Okay. I'm good. I'm that type of motherfucker.
In 2, he ends his tale saying that he can't wait to leave. It sounds to me like Nigel didn't have the best experience in New York City. Number 3, Rapid German. Redditor Major Mustard was in Frankfurt and riding the S-Bahn. Instead of paying for a ticket, he borrowed his host brother's transit card. He was able to use it the whole time without a problem, until one day the conductor entered their car with a look that could terrify you. If that wasn't scary enough, the woman approached the pair requesting their tickets. Having only had about a month of German, Mustard's speech was lacking to say the least. He didn't understand and just mimicked his friend. After looking at the card, she gave him the glare and spoke rapidly in German. Although he didn't understand a word of it, his friend managed to tell him to sign the back of the card under his breath. The Redditor writes, so here I was, 17-year-old kid from Wisconsin, forging a signature in a foreign country beneath the eyes of an official. She snapped the card from him after he'd finished and gave it a long glare. After she was satisfied, she gave it back to the boy and continued on to terrify other non-law-abiding passengers. Number 2, the group. Public transit can be a pretty bad time, like this story demonstrates. Redditor Wally Plumsteed grew up in Brooklyn, New York. He was 13 when he and a friend decided to go to the movies, which they did on a weekly basis. This time, however, They had to take the train all the way to Manhattan because the neighborhood theater wasn't showing what they wanted to see. Nothing went down on the way to Manhattan, but on the way home, Wally left his friend at his stop and then continued onward to his connecting train. He had the subway car to himself. In fact, the one next to it was empty too. Instead of enjoying the entire place to himself, he switched to another car that was fuller. Some guy in a leather jacket blocked his path and claimed the other cars were closed. Although Wally knew this wasn't true, he didn't want to start anything. So he returned to his empty car and his seat. Leather Jacket and his friends viewed his response as weakness and decided to take advantage. A metal dart came flying into the car and landed near Wally's feet. Leather Jacket and the group yelled at Wally to pick it up and then launched aggressively into the car. The dude who threw the dart demanded that he pick it up. Wally obliged, only to have the dude throw it at his legs repeatedly, each time ordering him to pick it up and hand it back to him. Screaming and crying and trying to block his legs, 13-year-old Wally was an easy target for these brutes. After growing bored with the dart throwing, the group all struck at once in the stomach, the chest, and the face. He tried to break free and run to the next car, where there were people, but one of the group was blocking the door as the lookout. He trapped him in, throwing him back to his friends. Wally fell to his knees and pulled out all the money he had, which was one small dime. He offered it to them and pleaded that they leave him alone. After Leather Jacket took the dime, they still weren't through. They grew more and more scary, throwing his head into the windows when the glass panes didn't shatter, as they seemingly wanted them to. They gave up on that idea after half a dozen rams. The entire group raced out of the car once they'd reached the final stop, all but one, the leader. Surprisingly, he pulled out his wallet and offered Wally a couple bucks, maybe to try to keep him quiet, but with pride, Wally refused. Although he tried to report the incident to the conductor, he couldn't find him, and he didn't report it to police either, because he felt he couldn't positively identify those involved. Noting that the group who did this must be in their 50s now, Wally wrote, "Their friends and families, wives and kids probably look up to them, thinking they're the greatest, not knowing what lowlifes they really are and were. Well said, Wally. Hopefully they have or will face their comeuppance someday." Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way, you'll be notified of the new video we upload every Tuesday. Number 1, on the tracks. Another scary story of a body on the tracks, but this one may not have been there of its own accord. Redditor Edgar was on his way home from work on Chicago's CTA one night. He was nearly there when the train stopped abruptly. After a while, the conductor announced a delay over the PA, and they were played out with some elevator music. A half hour later, the conductor was on again. This time, his voice was shaking. He informed passengers that there was a body on the tracks and that the power would be shut off for a while so that police could investigate.
I mean, just saying, couldn't you just run over that body? Just throwing it out there. Just run over it real fast. Just, just take a couple of seconds, if that. You got it. Just make it do what it do. You feel me? Just do it. Quick and simple. Just quick and painless. Just do it. Just so that's it. That's it. You don't gotta stop. You don't gotta do nothing. You don't gotta investigate. You don't gotta do nothing like that. Just go.
According to Edgar, the investigation took around 2 to 3 hours,
Damn.
and no one could leave the train.
Oh, come on.
The conductor made announcements and sounded as though he was going to cry from the stress of it all. As time ticked on, The passengers began to get antsy and complained that they should just be allowed to disembark. When the power finally returned, they were simply taken to the station, where they were finally allowed to disembark. Although no one had told the passengers what had happened, our friend Edgar did some investigative work. He writes, "It was a 15-year-old kid and no one knew why he was there."
Damn.
Another story that we'd all like to know more, or maybe it's best to not know the rest of this very scary incident. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because we upload new countdowns every Tuesday and Saturday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of our other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.
See, now I feel kind of bad because I didn't know the kid was 15. I thought it was just like a dead body on the tracks. I'm a little tired, so it may have just went over my head, but I didn't know the kid was 15. Jesus. I'm sorry for saying that. But you know what I noticed? Some of these videos have in common, like, you know, the videos that we just watched. There's a lot of dumbasses out there. A lot. You know? And, I mean, that's okay. I mean, I feel like there's more smartasses than dumbasses, but, I mean, we can't have it. We can't have it perfect. You know? It can't be a whole world filled with smartasses. It has to be some idiot. It has to be some dumbass. You know? But, all I'm saying is like, there's ways of, like, preventing, I don't know, like, there's ways of not being a dumbass, you know? I mean, some people are born dumbasses, and if that's the case, I can't really help you. But, I mean, if you're just making, like, dumbass decisions, you can stop that. You can stop that because you're just playing games. All right? But I've had my fair share of public transportation. I have taken the public bus, train, subway. I'm not proud of it, but Uber, trolley, I can't really think of anything else. A golf cart. I don't really know if that counts. But out of all the types of transportation that I just named, the public bus would have to be where I've had the most experience, good and bad. You know, I have, because now what I'm about to say, I've only experienced on the public bus, but I have experienced a man's balls, right? Old, disgusting, black, saggy, big ass balls. I've experienced a dumbass. I've experienced somebody wearing a lot of rich clothes and rich accessories. And the reason I do this is because I don't really know if what they had on was real. But if it was real, which is kind of like it's kind of like highly unlikely. But if it was real, what the hell? Why are you taking the bus if you're wearing clucking hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of clothes and accessories? Why are you taking the bus? I've experienced some paranormal shit. I've experienced a person, like a crazy person, not towards me, but she was just like in her own world, which kind of scared the hell out of me. I didn't know what she was about to do. I think, I don't know if this was on a bus or not, but I've experienced somebody having a gun on them, like, not, they didn't pull it out or anything, but having a gun like on a side, which I don't like that, because I just don't like guns. That's just me. So I mean, that kind of scared the hell out of me. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. But yeah, I've had my fair share of experiences on public transportation. But in the comment section below, let me know all the types of public transportation that you have taken, and if you, and also comment your experiences, whether it was good, bad, happy, sad, scary, all that, right? Were you scared? All that, but yeah, that's about it. That's crazy, because out of all the transportations, different types of transportation that I have taken over the years, the public bus is where I got my most experience. That's ridiculous. But keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.